Okay, back with Luke 21, verse 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So that describes the time when the non-Jews will invade Jerusalem. Verse 25, and there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth the distress of nations, with perplexity the sea, and the waves roaring. And it says there'll be signs in the sky and on the earth that will occur before Jesus returns. So be ready. Verse 26, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after these things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And many will be scared for all that is happening, all the stuff that's going on at the time, but don't worry because God is in control. Yeah, so have faith, don't be scared, stay strong. Verse 27, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And then Jesus will return in a glorious way. He'll be seen in the sky showing his power and majesty, and it's a promise of hope and of joy. Verse 28, and when these things begin to come to pass, look up, lift your head up, for your redemption draweth nigh. So when things get scary, look up and be hopeful. Jesus will be coming back soon, and all will be right. So then we get into verses 29 through 31, and it has to do with a parable about a fig tree. And Jesus will return like the fig tree sprouts leaves as a sign of summer. Just as we know when the fig tree sprouts leaves that summer is near, we will know Jesus is coming when Jesus' prophecies shall start happening. And some say that some of those are going on right now. Now, I don't know, because I don't know all, I don't know all the details and all the prophecies, and I don't really know how to connect the dots. So all I know is that we're living in kind of a scary time, and it's probably going to get way more scarier. So pray daily, have faith, choose God. Verse 32, Jesus, he's still talking to the crowd and his disciples. So Jesus continues on talking after he talks about the parable of the fig tree, and he says, I say unto you, this generation shall not pass away until all be fulfilled. So Jesus is saying, Jesus' prophecies, will come true in the lifetime of the people that he was speaking to at the time. Verse 33, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. Everything on earth will eventually pass away, but God's words will always remain. God's promises and teachings are eternal and unchanging. Verse 34, and take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with suffering and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. So basically, Jesus is warning us not to let our hearts be weighed down by the worries of life and to always be ready for his return. And it talks about drunkenness and the cares of life. Don't turn to the bottle, don't turn to smoking, don't turn to food. That's a big one for me, food, sugar, turn to God. Pray instead of going to the bar. Pray instead of, having sex with random women or random guys. Pray instead of eating a piece of cake. And that's a tough one for me because I tend to use food as comfort. So Yeah, not a good thing. So I'm working on it, though. I'm working on it. Okay, back to the Bible. Where was I? Verse 35. Jesus is still speaking, and he says, "For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth." Sorry, let me get my paper. I had to write it on multiple papers. The end times will come unexpectedly like a trap. It's important to stay alert and connect to God so we're not caught off guard. Yeah, that's, like I said, some of this is kind of scary to read about because it's like, ooh, they'll come at any time. You got to be ready. Have your heart right. Have a good relationship with the Lord. Verse 36. "Watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man." And so, according to my Bible app on my phone, this means that this is a reminder to always pray and stay alert, stay close to God, and He will guide you through the tough times. And I know that's true because, boy, He's gotten me through some things. And, looking at my life, I feel kind of lucky and really blessed because I haven't had to endure some things that others have. So I feel really lucky, and I feel blessed that He's been with me every step of the way. So, yeah. Verses 37 through 38, Jesus spends his days teaching and his nights praying on the Mount of Olives. And this illustrates that he's dedicated to teaching God's word and his commitment to prayer. And people would come in the early morning to listen to Jesus in the temples as they valued his words and his teachings. So that's the end of Luke 21. It was a long one, 70 some, or no, I guess that should say, that's verse 35, sorry. Luke 22 is 70 some verses, so that's a long one. And I'm going through that right now. But yeah, so taking away from Luke 21, I mean, it gives a lot of stuff, and I didn't go much into depth because, like I said, I just go off of the meaning that my Bible app gives me, and then I pick up things here and there from podcasts and other preachers in church. So yeah, I have a lot more studying and learning to do, but I figured I'd share as I'm going, maybe someone else it'll catch someone else's eye, and they'll pick up the book too. So that's all I can hope for, right? Anyway, I'll see you guys later. I'll be back with Luke 22.